Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, hello everybody. I guess what I forgot to take away. There it is. Hey, just wanted to touch back base really quick. Also, I wanted to also put up our scrolling banner that gives. We've had wonderful donations already coming in. So if you're considering donating, please give, and we will add your name to the list. Sorry, Nicole, if you're out there watching, I haven't got your name added, but I will before the next segment. I appreciate it. But we're going to be talking about, we've had lots of people over the years have asked us how we got this started, how we ended up here in Banner Elk and everything, and the process that it took. And so I want to talk a little bit and just briefly about that. But before we get started, the whole reason we're doing this kind of stuff is that we're this is our Giving Tuesday, our version of Giving Tuesday fundraiser, and we because we're always usually busy getting ready for a show, and we'll be doing that the same way this year. Is we'll be doing the in tech for our Christmas show, and during the regular Giving Tuesday. So we're doing this. We're doing a streamathon to help us raise money for our Giving Tuesday. And like I said, if you want to donate, go to that website you see on that web page you see on the screen, ensemblestage.ludus.com/donate, and give your donations. And also, if you give a donation and everything, we'll put your name down there at the bottom in the scrolling ticker. And any amount's great, whether it be $5, a dollar, $10, $50, 100, 5,000, whatever you want to do. Will certainly appreciate whatever amount you're interested in giving. But anyway, on to the talking about how we got here in Banner Elk. One of the things that I wanted to a lot of people don't know is or aren't familiar too much with is that Ensemble Stage has been around since 2009. But in 2016, we were doing our holiday Christmas show at the Valborg Theater on the campus of Appalachian State University. And unbeknownst to us, one of the Banner Elk Town Council members came to see the show. And after the show, we got out, and I was walking out, and as me and Lisa were leaving, one of the ushers came up and said, "Hey, there's somebody here who wants to talk to you." And so I went over, and he introduced himself, and he said his name was Alan, and that he was from the Banner Elk Town Council, and was interested in talking to us about moving our operation out there to Banner Elk. And I said, and at the time we were currently kind of gypsies, and were wanting a permanent place. And so I said, sure, I'd certainly be interested in talking to you. And so Lisa and I went out there to Banner Elk, and we went to the old historic Banner Elk School, and we were standing in the rooms that you're seeing right now, the auditorium, which at the time didn't look like it. If you can see the background behind me, that's what it looked like. And you'll see a little slide pop up there that was like that when we walked in the door. And so he opens the door, and we go into the auditorium, which was actually it was what they called back then a gymatorium, where they had a stage up there for presentations, but then that was also the gym where they played basketball and that kind of stuff. And there was even the basketball goals still up there on the wall. And here's a quick little tidbit for any of you who come to see our shows. There's still one of the basketball goals that is up in the auditorium, and it's got this big W on the backboard. And I always wondered what the W stood for. I thought, well, maybe that was their mascot. No, this was an elementary school, or a school that went from K-8, and that W basically was just telling them that's facing west. So that was like a little learning tool for the young kids, that's west, the direction of that backboard, which I thought was very cool. And I love hearing these stories about the old place. But anyway, so we're standing there in the auditorium and taking a look at it. And when we first were there, um, it was so echoey in there. See what you're seeing now on the screen. That was it when we came in to take a visit and look around. And there's that old stage that's back there, still back there, but we use it as a storage stage now. But you could barely hear the person next to you because it was so echoey that was just like an echo chamber there in that huge auditorium, that huge gymnasium. And was talking to Alan, and we also the mayor there, Brenda Lyerly, was there with us, and we were discussing it. And they were saying, "Well, what do you think about the space?" And we saw that space. Thought, well, this would be perfect for a 99 seat auditorium. And I said, the only problem is that not only do we need a place to perform our shows, we also need a place that. We need a green room and a dressing room, and we need to be able to have a box office area, and we need a place to rehearse our shows, and we need a place to build our sets. And uh, it was amazing. I'll never forget this. Um, or Brenda goes, "All right, well then, if that's what you need, then how about this space, this space, this space, this space, and this space, along with the auditorium? Would that work?" And it's be, "Yes, please. That would be awesome." And so we started. This was back in like January of 2017, and they said we need to approach. You need to come to the town council and talk to them, and give a presentation and everything, and the town manager will be there and all that kind of stuff. And so we nervously went to the meeting that they had set aside to discuss Ensemble Stage moving out there and moving into the historic Banner Oak School, which was then at that point owned by the town. And I got up and they Alan had kind of given us a introduction and talking about what he wanted to do and how impressed he was with our shows. That the show he saw at Valborg, our Christmas show and everything, and was telling them what a great addition he thought we would be to the town. And then they asked the town council, "Do you guys have any questions?" And having experienced a town council in trying to get a spot for Ensemble Stage previously, I was quite nervous about it. Was waiting to be grilled and asked all these questions that I wasn't looking forward to having to respond to. But the only question the town council asked was, "So, how soon can you come out?" And that is, in a nutshell, the effect this town has had, or the way they embraced us from the very beginning. The town of Banner Elk has embraced us, has embraced Ensemble Stage, has bent over backwards to be supportive of us. And one of the things, like you see right there on that scene and that screen, there was that scaffolding up there after we started to move in. And one of the things that had to be done was I needed to paint the ceiling of that auditorium black, so it wasn't going to reflect all the stage lighting all over the place. So I was up there on that scaffolding with our hand roller and was rolling that out because we're a small nonprofit, and no, we don't have a whole lot of money. And one of Joanne, who is at the time was the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Banner Elk, walked in and she saw me up there on that scaffolding, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I got to paint the ceiling here." and I got to paint it black. And she goes, get down from there. And so I reluctantly got down. Of course, the reason she was doing all this because she knew I was dealing with a bout of sciatica, my first glimpse at being old, so I uh, slowly crawled down from that scaffolding and got down. And she said, uh, "Give me 5 minutes." And so I said, "Okay." And I didn't know what she was doing. 5 minutes later, this team of painters walked in. Uh, she had made a couple of calls and she got uh, a company to come out and paint the ceiling. And I said, "Well, how much is it going to cost me?" She goes, "Nothing. The chamber will take care of it. Don't worry about it. You need that ceiling painted. We'll take care of it. Um, this town is here for you. This town supports you." And this is before we put on show one. So it was just simply, and it's been that way ever since. And that was in 2017. And so we started doing our productions, our performances in June of 2017, and converted this, as you see on the screen, this uh, um, big open space into this wonderfully cozy and intimate 99 seat theater that we have now. So if you get a chance, come by and see us and see one of our shows. And something else I wanted to touch on for all those, we get a lot of questions about the, if you've been to our shows and you've read you've looked at our playbills in there that lists the technical staff and like me and Lisa and the designers and Nicole, our stage manager, and listen. And on that, there's a picture at the top of that page, and it says Jerry's Crew, and it's a picture of Jerry Burns. Jerry Burns is, and that's who Jerry's Crew is. Who we dedicated that page to was Jerry Burns. Jerry Burns, back when we first started Ensemble Stage, invited us to come to his house, and he wanted to make sure that the performing arts, the live theater, professional live theater, stayed alive in the high country. And he wanted me and Lisa to promise him that we would make sure that that happened. And I'll say this, and I say this with a tear in my eye, but a smile on my lips, that played. Jerry was Jerry was dying of cancer at the time, and Jerry even said, he goes, "You know what? I'm going to play my cancer card here to get you to agree to and promise me you will make sure that uh, live professional theater stays alive in the high country." And so Lisa and I agreed to that, and so we started Ensemble Stage in 2009, and then, like I said, we moved out here to Banner Elk in 2017. And to me, we're still on our honeymoon with this town, because everybody in this town has been so supportive, whether it be businesses or individuals. And it's so great also because 2 blocks away is Lisa McRae College, and they have their Lisa McRae Summer Theater there. And some people are worried about, oh, well, you're going to be stepping on their toes. Well, number one, we do two completely different kinds of shows. Lisa McRae Summer Theater is usually musicals and big musicals because they have a big stage and everything. Our shows are very intimate, and we don't do musicals. The only musical we do is our holiday variety show. But we have such a great reputation, or I'm sorry, a great rapport with, hopefully a great reputation as well, but a great rapport with Lisa McRae College and the Lisa McRae Summer Theater, that there's times when we call them and say, "Hey, look, we're looking for this kind of costume, or we're looking for this kind of set piece," or they will do the same thing with us, and it'll be like, "Oh, sure, we got that," or "Yeah, we can help you out with that." So it's just a wonderful combination, or not combination, but partnership in a way with them. And what's funny is people started referring to referring to Banner Elk as the heart of the theater, of the heart of theater in the high country. And they said it was because, well, you've got Lisa McRae Summer Theater, and then 2 blocks away you have Ensemble Stage. And people really bought into that and loved that idea, and started getting a lot of people coming in from out of town, that would spend the whole weekend, and they'd go see a musical show at a big musical extravaganza at Lees McRae Summer Theater, and then the next day they'd spend the night, and then the next day they'd come in and they'd see one of our shows at here at Ensemble Stage. So it's been a great partnership with Lees McRae and the town of Banner Elk, and I can't say enough about it. And if anybody's ever wondering, where should we move to? Well, if you want to get away from the big city and you want to feel welcome and know that everybody is there for everybody else, Banner Elk, that's where you go. But anyway, some of these, like I said, all these pictures, like right there, there's a picture of the box office before it got turned into the box office. And there's our first rehearsal for our very first show we had over there in Banner Elk in our rehearsal space. That's a list of things that we had on our to-do list to get started here to do these things. And again, there's that space when we first moved in, and everything we had to do was just this, broad, wide, open space. But anyway, thanks for joining me and listening to the origins of and creating the space here at Banner Elk. And I'm going to be back in a few minutes with the playwright Richard Vitier of who wrote the play Zagalata, which we did as the world premiere here back a couple of years ago. So we'll be right back. Thanks.